Hello, I'm Emma. Welcome to the Littlest Sewing Room, or welcome back if you've been following me for a while. I've recently had an influx of a lot of new subscribers, and I've also come to realise I've never really introduced myself to the subscribers that have been following me from the beginning. So I thought I'd make this little video about the Littlest Sewing Room, who I am, what I do, where it all began, and what my plans are moving forwards for the future. So who am I? Well, I'm a middle-aged mum and wife with a passion for creating. I've always been a creative person with the ability to think outside of the box. 6 years ago, when I was pregnant with my son, I decided I would have a go at sewing. I couldn't find anything I liked for my baby, so the next logical step in my mind was to just make my own. Is this a good time to mention that I actually failed textiles at school? I quickly became hooked, and when I needed to upgrade my sewing machine with pretty much a zero budget, the next logical step, whilst having a 3-month-old baby in lockdown, was to find a vintage sewing machine that had the capacity to do what I wanted it to do, but maybe need a little bit of TLC. I also think I should add at this point that my brain is a bit like spaghetti junction with roadworks, diversions, and a few accidents along the way. So I set off down the wonderful sidetrack path of sewing machine repair and restoration, whilst also building on my day-to-day sewing skills. As my skills improved, so did my interest in different sewing techniques. I wasn't happy just learning about garment making or blanket making. I always have so many ideas, and I wanted to figure out how I could execute and envision them and create them the way I wanted them to be. I learnt about and taught myself free motion machine embroidery, investing in and restoring a 20U43 industrial sewing machine, particularly for this purpose. Once I learnt the free motion embroidery, I stumbled across chainstitch embroidery machines and the fantastic work they can produce in skilled hands. I quickly figured out this seemed to be a dying skill here in the West and certainly in the UK, and I really wanted to learn about these amazing machines and how to use them. And little did I know what kind of rabbit hole I was going down with that particular idea. As my son grew, it became apparent I needed a job that would fit around his needs. He does have a few additional needs. And once he started nursery, I had a few hours a week of free time where the business ideas that I'd been scribbling down and kind of coming up with over the last few years slowly started to come into being. So I didn't want to be hemming pants for the rest of my life. No offense to the people that enjoy hemming pants. It's just not my thing. I'm a very creative person. I wanted to create, and I wanted to share the skills that I've gained over the last few years with others, because I know how hard it's been for me to learn them with very little information that's out there. So I started with Instagram, and then I've moved into YouTube. But before all this, I needed a name. So how did I decide on the Littlest Sewing Room? Well, that's pretty simple. My sewing room is best described as cosy. It's a 10-foot by 8-foot space. It's just about big enough to fit my industrial sewing machine in, my phallic chainstitch embroidery machine, gutting table, and I've got some cupboards in here for storage, to store the associated sewing paraphernalia that I seem to have collected and acquired over the last few years. So I started off my YouTube journey with machine maintenance and user guide videos that are particularly beginner friendly and very concise, because I realised very early on in my own journey down the rabbit warren that is machine maintenance and sewing that there's an absolute dire need for this kind of content. And I love making this content. It's not that I don't love making it, but over the last year, due to demands from outside of the Littlest Sewing Room, I've found I have had less and less time to do the creative work that I absolutely thrive on. So what does this mean to the Littlest Sewing Room moving forwards? I'm still going to be making maintenance videos. I'm not going to be making as many of them. They're probably going to be like once a month, once every couple of months. I'm going to be doing more sewing makes, more chain stitch embroidery. I love to upcycle clothing, so I'm doing videos on upcycling, which, really tests my skills as a sewer and also my imagination as a creative person, as a designer. I now have a shop a Numonday shop because, like everybody else that's out there, I have bills to pay. This that you're watching now does not pay me a penny at the moment. I do this for funsies, which sounds crazy when I have a limited amount of time. But I really enjoy doing this. So I'm still going to make content. I'm not going to disappear off into the ether, but I'm trying to find ways to make the content and the other elements of the Littlest Sewing Room all work together so that, you know, I'm making the best use of what limited time I have, because I do have quite a limited amount of time outside of the constraints that are, you know, the other side of my life. So yeah, so I've got the Numonday shop. So anything that I make now for a video will end up being for sale on the Numonday shop generally. There may be a few things thrown in that I'll pilfer, keep for myself, because, you know, I think we all do that as creative people out there. Sometimes you make something and go, ooh, this is really nice, I'm going to keep this. So yeah, so there's the Numonday shop, which will hopefully generate some income for me. Anything I make on these videos will be for sale there. If you see something you love, then please, you know, I'll put links in the descriptions for everything. Drop on the shop, purchase it. I do international shipping, so that's fine. I've got a few things planned, working with 2 collaborators with regards to the chainstitch embroidery and chainstitch embroidery machines and supplies. That is slowly starting to come together, and I will tell you more about that in the future, which won't be of interest to some of you guys that are here for the maintenance things and the machines. But what I really hope more than anything is that you stay with me. I love the support. I love the comments. I really, really appreciate you guys. And as my content shifts sideways a little bit and changes, I would like to hope that you guys stay with me and watch me grow and watch the Littlest Sewing Room grow, and that we can build this together. So I'm going to end this video here. I think I've waffled on enough. My hairstyle seems to be changing throughout the video because I have a tendency to play with my hair when I'm doing stuff. Sorry. If you have any comments, please drop them below. Though I will say feet. I don't do feet. Feet equals ban. Gone. Out the window. But yeah, you guys take care. And I really hope that I see you again next week. Bye for now. Subscribe. 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 Subscribe.